I guess Fox News is feeling a little bit sensitive these days when it comes to retraction. I think there's still ongoing suit of like $1.6 billion following their insistence that there was that Dominion, a voting machine company, had a secret server in Germany, and there were SWAT teams. I have no idea, but they seem to be a little sensitive because they have retracted the story that Joe Biden will be outlawing hamburgers on July 4th. Here is the first of the retractions. That's John Roberts at Fox News.
On Friday, we told you about a study from the University of Michigan to give some perspective on President Biden's ambitious climate change goals. That research from 2020 found that cutting back how much red meat people eat would have a drastic impact on harmful greenhouse gas emissions. The data was accurate, but a graphic and a script incorrectly implied that it was part of Biden's plan for dealing with climate change. That is not the case. One state now looking to
Whoop. Just blowing right by it.
You know, I mean, at least they put that out there. I didn't even realize that the study was done prior to Biden releasing his plan, at least as president. But I don't know. Maybe you hear it put that way by John Roberts that drastically cutting back on our meat consumption will help climate change. That might be a good idea. I don't know. Food for thought.
Right. Food sounds like meatless food for thought.
Meatless
right,
food for thought. Now, of course, one of the things that I have vowed to do, and I have always done this, I've cut back on my my meat consumption fairly dramatically over the years. But one thing that I have always done since I was in my early 20s is whenever I had a beer, I always reached for a plant-based beer. That was it. I was just not gonna.
Typical hippie liberal.
That's right. I was a very I was super woke back before that was even a thing. Back when I was in my 20s, in college, even. Only plant-based beer for me. Of course, I'm referring to Larry Kudlow, who now says, "Oh, when I said plant-based beer, I was joking," because the joke that's involved in that the joke is that Larry Kudlow has no idea what is coming out of his mouth. Here.
Quit. No, of course I know beer is plant-based. Some people can't take a joke. Some people responded with an even worse joke. Take Chuck Schumer, who tweeted last night, and I quote, "Excited to be watching the Oscars with an ice-cold plant-based beer." Thanks, Joe Biden. By the way, Schumer, didn't your mother tell you not to sit too close to the TV? You'll strain your eyes. And by the way, I didn't say Biden was in favor of only plant-based food. I was citing a Michigan survey. So get new glasses, Mr. Schumer. And folks, it's plant-based. It's
Yeah, no, what he was doing was citing a Daily Mail article that made the rounds to people like Lauren Boebert and other crackpots on the right that conflated a random study with Biden's actual agenda and proposals, and his writers didn't do fact checks, and now he has to pretend he was joking. Well, the fact that he doesn't even really know what's in beer. And I have said before, Kudlow doesn't seem like a beer guy. He seems like a brown liquor, old school Mad Men type fella. So maybe he just really is that ignorant about what beer is.
Yeah, I get the sense that Kudlow. I wouldn't guess necessarily brown liquor as much as I would guess like maybe mouthwash in the drawer type of guy. I don't know if you ran into any of those back in the day. That was the mouthwash.
That's pretty dark, Sam.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kudlow's trajectory. He was a lot. He was, I think, broken by the Trump administration. I mean, he was broken before, but then he was broken again by the Trump administration.
But I will say, I'm excited that you have already grown accustomed to plant-based beer because you will adjust nicely under Biden's green dictatorship. Obviously.
Yeah, that's going to be super easy for me to make that adjustment to the plant-based beer. But it's funny too that he doesn't feel like he needs to, he's doubling down on it. And frankly, I thought that Schumer's joke was certainly better than Certainly better than Kudlow's joke. I mean, neither one of them was laugh
It's
out
just
loud.
so insular. I mean, I'm sorry. I tweeted like, "Who is this for?" It really is just for. I'm annoyed that the Senate Majority Leader is kind of involving himself in this squabble. Really, when I didn't even fully get it at first, and also when my annoyance with him grows every day as he's unable to get anywhere on filibuster reform, and thus the
Well,
Yeah,
agenda.
you get rid of the filibuster. Leave the Kudlow dunking to us, please, sir.
Exactly.
Exactly. Or we may have to, I don't know, switch roles. If Schumer wants to sit here, and but that's a different story. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Michael Mechanic. He is the author of Jackpot: How the Super Rich Really Live and How Their Wealth Harms Us All. Be right back in just a moment with that.